While words are important, much of our communication happens without them. Interesting, isn't it? Non-verbal cues such as body language, facial expressions, and gestures can convey emotions and intentions far more powerfully than spoken words. A psychologist, Mr. Albert Merabian, famously said that words account for only 7% of communication. The other 93% comes from body language and tone of voice. How about that? 7% only words, 93% non-verbal communication. We'll explore today the unique aspects of non-verbal communication and how can we harness its power to enhance our interactions. Welcome back to our podcast. We are continuing our theme for this week, effective communication. We have seen the importance of effective communication, the active listening. Now comes to non-verbal communication. Let's understand non-verbal communication. It encompasses all the ways we convey messages without using words. This includes facial expressions, gestures, posture, eye contact, tone of voice, and even silence. Yes, pauses. One of the big strength, if I can say that, of the coaches is silence, is to take the pause when they are with client. It allows client to process the information and say more about what they are thinking. These non-verbal signals can reinforce or contradict what we say verbally, making them a crucial component of effective communication. What are some unique aspects of nonverbal communication? Cultural variations. Nonverbal cues can vary significantly across cultures. For instance, while direct eye contact may indicate confidence in some cultures, it can be seen as disrespectful in others. Being aware of these cultural differences is essential for effective communication in the globalized world. Micro expressions. These are brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal a person's true emotions, often occurring in less than a second, like raising the eyebrows or squinting your eyes. Learning to recognize micro expressions can provide valuable insights into how someone is truly feeling, even if their words suggest otherwise. Proxemics. This refers to the use of personal space in communication. So, different cultures have varying norms regarding how close individuals stand to one another during conversations. Understanding proxemics can help you navigate social interactions more comfortably and respectfully. For example, the culture I come from, normally a male and a female are at a very respectful distance, and like hugging or touching on shoulders or even arm is seen a little bit of people will do who are very close to each other. However, I have seen in Western culture, even male and female, men and women, normally they hug and they kiss on cheek just to pass the just to greet each other. So these are some cultural differences. Kinexis. This involves the study of body movements and gestures, kinesics. Certain gestures can have specific meanings depending on the context. For example, crossed arms might indicate defensiveness, while open arms can suggest openness and honesty. Being aware of your own body language and that of others can enhance communication effectiveness. Paralanguage. This refers to the non-verbal elements of communication that accompany speech, such as tone, pitch, and volume. The way something is said can dramatically alter its meaning. For instance, a sarcastic tone can completely change the interpretation of a compliment. Let's see some tips, strategies, and some insights. So, some strategies to enhance your nonverbal communication skills: self awareness, pay attention to your own nonverbal cues. Observe how your body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice align with your spoken words. As I said, our eyebrows get raised and our eyes get squint on some information in just in a millisecond. So be self aware. Practicing self awareness can help you convey your messages more effectively. Mirror and match in conversations. Subtly mirroring the body language of the person you are speaking with can create rapport and foster connection. This is an NLP trick. This technique can make the other person feel more at ease and understood. If you see, many known journalists and the interviewers apply these techniques. Practice active observation. During conversations, focus on the non-verbal cues of other person. Are they leaning in or pulling away? Are they making eye contact or avoiding it? Active observation can provide deeper insights into their feelings and intentions. Use gestures purposefully. Incorporate appropriate gestures to emphasize your points. Gestures can enhance your message and make it more engaging. However, be mindful not to overdo it, as excessive gestures can be distracting. Cultivate empathy. Developing empathy can enhance your ability to interpret nonverbal signals. By putting yourself in the other person's shoes, you can better understand their emotional state and respond appropriately. Here's an expert insight. Alan and Barbara, in their book called The Definitive Book of Body Language, emphasize that nonverbal communication can often reveal more than words ever could. They state, the body language of a person can tell you more about their true feelings than their words. This insight underscores the importance of being attuned to nonverbal signals in our interactions. We can see some real life situations where body language is seen. In job interviews, candidates can convey confidence through their posture, eye contact, handshake. Employers often rely on nonverbal cues to gauge a candidate's suitability beyond their verbal responses. We have a detailed example coming up in next slide. Conflict resolution. During conflicts, being aware of nonverbal signals can help de-escalate tensions. For instance, maintaining an open posture and using calming gestures can create a more conducive environment for resolution. Let's see an example here of non-verbal communication in an office setup, specifically in an interview setup. So imagine a candidate, Vedika. Let's name her Vedika, entering a job interview. As she walks into the room, her posture is upright and she greets the interviewer with a firm handshake and a genuine smile. This initial non-verbal cue immediately conveys confidence and enthusiasm about the opportunity. Throughout the interview, Vedika maintains good eye contact, which helps establish a connection with the interviewer. She leans slightly forward in her chair, signaling engagement and interest in the conversation. When discussing her experiences, she uses appropriate hand gestures to emphasize her points, which adds dynamism to her verbal communication. However, when faced with a challenging question about a past failure, Vedika briefly looks down and fidgets with her hands, indicating a moment of vulnerability. Recognizing this, she takes a deep breath, strengthens her posture, and resumes eye contact, demonstrating her ability to regain composure and confidence. This example illustrates how Vedika's body language not only complements her verbal responses but also communicates her emotional state and level of engagement. Effective non-verbal communication can significantly influence the interviewer's perception, making it essential for candidates to be aware of their body language throughout the interview process. And this kind of a body language applies to not only interviews but to your important meetings, or to when you're meeting someone new, to build the rapport. These all tips and tricks can be applied. Let's have some self-coaching questions. How aware am I of my own non-verbal communication? What non-verbal cues do I find most challenging to interpret in others? How can I improve my ability to read micro expressions and body language? In what situations do I notice my non-verbal cues contradicting my verbal messages? You have to really reflect on yourself, make notes of all these things, or probably take a feedback from someone to give you insight in all these questions. As we wrap up this episode on nonverbal communication, remember that what you say is only part of the message you convey. Your body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice plays a crucial role in how your words are interpreted. By becoming more aware of these nonverbal cues, you can enhance your communication skills and foster deeper connections with those around you. So, the next time you engage in a conversation, pay attention not to just the words being spoken, but to the silent messages being shared. Embrace the power of nonverbal communication and watch your relationships flourish. I hope you find this episode useful and apply all these tips given, insights given in your daily communication. If you find it useful, like, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who can make good use of these information, this podcast. And we would love to hear your thoughts on nonverbal communication and any personal stories you would like to share. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we will explore assertive communication and how to express your needs confidently. Until then, communicate effectively